Word space in your face. Also in the space. There.
Okay, hello and welcome to this week's episode of Wordspace Radio. My name's Billy, and joining me in the studio today is Phil.
Hello.
Chris.
Hello.
And Max.
Good afternoon.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, not too bad, you know.
Yeah, water all watered up now.
Yeah, solidly watered after that mishap.
We don't mention the mishap, they don't know about the mishap.
Yeah, but it's meta. I'm breaking walls.
The fourth wall's been broken in the first minute of the show. That's spectacular.
Has to be done.
Downhill from here, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, awesome. It's the same crack as every day. We're going to be reading a few poems and having a bit of a chat about it. You've all brought one in.
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to bring a poem in.
Why? What have you brought?
No, it's okay. I was just joking. I have brought a poem in. Don't worry.
We need to determine the order, and that's going to be a malarkey, I think.
Is it? Why?
I'm
not going first, so it's not going to be.
Yeah, exactly, because everybody's going to be like, I'm not going first.
Well, you go first then.
No, because mine's the saddest poem ever known to man.
We'll end on my poem, which is shortest.
Mine. I've narrowed it down to two preliminary poems, and they're both going to be pretty sad, but.
You can end on mine.
Well, you do have to decide, because I'm king of this castle, and I'm gonna just pick on somebody if you don't decide. So I don't know. Maybe it should be a hierarchy based on beard skill.
Oh, really?
So I instantly lose because I'm a bloody child. I was actually in Tesco's the other day, and the guy was like, "Can I have your ID?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he was like, "You need to get some facial ID, mate, like your mate." Like, just pointing at Chris, he was like, "If you don't have any facial ID, you're going to get ID'd every time." And I was just like, right,
A beard is facial ID
Oh,
now.
the best
Yeah.
is the
Chest
hair that escapes the top of the t-shirt.
You've got to link them together. They've got to be one.
No.
Unite.
No, then you're a bear. You're no longer a man now.
Is there any scope to get this filmed, to be honest? I think the viewers are missing out.
You should
Or
do it.
listeners.
We actually wanted to, and I
You
was
should
planning on
definitely
bringing a
do
camera
that.
in, but I'm
They
an
can
idiot,
stream it
so-
on the website, but I would advise against it unless you want to see 5 hairy naked dudes reading
Hang
poems.
on. Nobody said anything about getting naked right now.
For all they know, we are naked.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no reason for them to
This is
believe
why
that
I'm
we're
probably
We
clothed.
don't want to
Wall.
spoil your illusion.
Right, so if you want to set the scene, we're in a room, we're all naked. We've all got a scrap of paper with
Candles.
something that resembles a poem on it.
Yeah.
We're touching each other slightly, but not too much. Not to be distracted.
Just a light
Yeah.
caress
Yeah, just
of
a
the inner
gentle,
thigh.
Like, not even skin, just hair. And this got suddenly homoerotic. Sorry.
Right.
Too many men with beards.
Okay, I'm drawing a line here. Let's have a poem. Who wants to volunteer?
Right, everyone's looking at me, so I'll do it.
Awesome.
Let
You
me
also
just-
need to move a bit closer to the mic, Phil. Scooch in.
I'm sorry.
Sick.
I'm sorry.
You're okay.
He just wants Phil to get closer. That's
Yeah.
all.
I just thought that my voice is quite loud and I should probably compensate.
No, you're actually the quietest in the room at the minute.
Well,
Yeah, there might be a
fucking
bit.
me senseless.
All right, whenever you're
Okay.
ready, dude.
So, before I read this, I just want to give a little bit of background on it, if that's it. Cool.
Go crazy.
So, as you probably know by now, I'm Phil, and I write kind of sad poetry that isn't on purpose. I just can't write anything else. And this is a poem called Collision Theory. A dark-haired hand heretically hangs limp at your side, a hangman's noose that drifts unintelligibly as you walk. A willow bough in the wind, no motor function, no self-control, only momentum and gravity affect its skeletal arm, unlike yours. Unlike yours, it can't be blamed when it falls, severed from its body and strikes someone. Detached from the world but still attached to you and connects you to someone briefly. A collision, then a departure. Like molecules colliding at excessive rates, exchanging heat, changing their shape, ignoring race, love and beliefs, to step up boldly to the plate. And in your great wisdom, your elder tongue, you tell me somehow I was wrong for taking things too far, speaking out of turn. I'm a child. When will you learn? That instead of building palisades to keep me in and corral my ways, you could just as easily change, or mutate, or collide with something else to become someone new. Concentrate and activate so you can turn a page.
Wow, brilliant stuff. Thank you, Phil.
Cheers. I'll take it.
Fantastic. Before we start ripping into it, do you have anything anything else that you want to tell us about the poem, how it was inspired, where it came from?
Yeah, so the 3 poems that I've brought with me today, that I'm not going to read all of, obviously, because we don't have that long, I wrote for my last creative writing portfolio, which was on the theme of childhood and stuff like that. Yeah. And basically, I had this idea of this kind of little sciencey, specky kid. I was going to say something else then. I didn't want to. Who basically his dad's a bit abusive, and he's trying to explain all these feelings that he's having, but obviously he's quite young and he can't really verbalise them, but from knowing about science and from being passionate about science, he kind of views the physical abuse that he's getting as kind of molecules colliding, electrons, stuff like that, and energy passing between him and his dad. So even though it's not a very nice connection, it's still a connection both spiritually, physically, mentally, with that kind of father-son bond, as well as the kind of physical violence that comes with it in this unfortunate situation.
Wow.
So yeah, like I said, it's pretty sad. Pretty damn sad.
It is dark, but it's not. I mean, it's normal for poetry to cover your dark topics.
Yeah.
You know. Was it supposed to be a slam poet?
I don't even know what slam poem is. I guess I'm a bad poet.
Fair enough. It had the vibe of a slam poem to me.
I think it kind of when I was writing it, I knew I'd be reading it out at some point.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted it to have a spoken word kind of vibe, and
I could see in the way when you were reading it, you couldn't help but gesticulate while you read it.
Yeah.
Obviously, nobody who's listening to this can see that.
See my gesticulars.
No visible gesticulars, but
Yeah.
no, you couldn't stop yourself from moving your hands to the rhythm of the poem, and there was a definite, with a lack of rhyme, a formal rhyme scheme, you kept the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go into, because up until this year, I've always wrote rhyming poetry. I've always written rhyming poetry, and it's always been a kind of characteristic of my poetry to be quite song-like and lyrical, because that's how I got into poetry, just from listening to music. And
Lots of people do, I think. They pick up a guitar and write sad songs first, and as they get better at that, eventually the guitar gets put down and the paper takes a bit
people
more.
People at home can't see, but I'm rocking a Promise Ring t-shirt. Which
no,
is
you're
solid.
not. You're not wearing any clothes. We're naked.
Oh yeah, damn! I've ruined the illusion. Well, etched into my chest is the Promise Ring, which are an emo band, and I listen to a lot of sad music, and it's kind of inspired from that, but it's also very rhythmic and focused on like that kind of spoken word aspect that Chris kind of gets into his poetry, like a little segue. You like that? Yeah, like when I first heard Chris's poetry, I kind of really got into that spoken word feel of being really rhythmic and being really alliterative, and I was just kind of trying new things, and all of these 3 poems that kind of have the same kind of childhood theme all kind of play off that, I think.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well, like I say, we don't actually have enough time for you to read all 3 on the show today, but if you ever want to come back and read the rest of them out, that'd be absolutely sick, because
Cool.
we enjoyed that one very much. You guys have been awfully quiet. Yeah.
Appreciative, I think. You know.
You're just speechless and
I just
shocking.
feel awkward with all this nakedness. I'll read a poem, but I'll take some advice in deciding which one.
Okay, go nuts.
I've got a poem that is, after all that, doesn't rhyme. That's about. It's actually written for the Love and Loss module, so it's a romantic love, sad thing.
This is a very university-based poetry reading, isn't it? We're all
It is,
kind
yeah.
of-
They all
wanna
have
do
tended.
that. I didn't
We've
really
all
wanna
tended
do
to
that.
be so far.
I think it's because
Obviously,
obviously
just come from lecture.
yeah, we've just come from lecture, and like
Also, you know that your work's good if a lecturer's approved it. Like, I've got a lot of poems that I've wanted to read and that no one's ever heard yet.
yeah.
And I don't know whether if I've got a poem that's got a first next to its name, I feel like I can read it out on on a podcast without feeling like an idiot. But there's piles of papers I've got at home that I'll never read yet.
I was
because
gonna,
I don't know if they're any good.
I was gonna bring a pretty fresh poem, but like you said, it's hard to kind of like I haven't gone through and edited it, and then
Yeah.
someone else hasn't gone through and edited it, so it's that fear of being being not good.
Yeah, exactly. I think we do need to step out of that eventually, and we'll be encouraging people to not do university work and to bring because that's where it needs to go. But for the most part, we're still in the teething process of the show anyway.
I think it's useful that we can, I guess, we are present in a lot of each other's writing of these poems, so we kind of, I don't know, it's interesting to discuss our work together, I guess.
Yeah, I quite enjoy
kind
it.
of like
Absolutely.
revision, but for you lot,
For
you lot at home,
who aren't at uni, or maybe you are at uni, but not
doing
at our
a lot
uni.
better than us,
Could be
probably.
at any uni.
Could be.
Some worldwide feedback.
Could be the uni of students.
I can't wait to just like see a comment on this that's just like, that Phill lad's not good. I was going to say something else. But
Loves the sound of his own voice.
that Phill lad's very pejorative word. There we go. Anyway, Chris, basic premise of the poems that you're thinking of.
One of them is about a dude and a girl, and the dude likes the girl, and I don't want to tell you too much about it, but just basically love and loss themes. Is probably not as radio friendly as the other one, which has a rhyme scheme. And when I
That's
say
up to you.
radio friendly, there's no
we like
dudes or
edgy.
nothing in there.
Oh right, I
Not
thought you were
really.
meaning like tits and violence or something.
There may be an explicit version, but those stanzas are
A
locked
poem by Quentin
securely by.
Tarantino.
I would read that.
One word space.
So I'll probably go for the other one, which is about when I was a kid, my sister went into a diabetic coma, and I was in year 3, so I must have been, what's that, 5 or 6?
Yeah, I think you're 5 in year 3.
Yeah, and she slipped into this coma and she was slowly dying. And I just remember being
shouldn't be
there
laughing,
like,
should
she's
I?
faking it, she's doing it all just so she can get all these toys that you're buying her and stuff. Because I was a kid, I didn't understand, obviously. Now, I realise that she was in a pretty bad
Not
way.
faking.
I know, yeah. But this poem's just about kind of that type of innocence that is kind of problematic, that puts you in a less sort of able standing for the real world. So yeah.
Sounds deep, man. Go for it.
Yeah, do that one.
Slumped on sea green curtains, hurt at what they've seen, as lights blink fireflies into her apple-bitten dreams. But I was sat there singing, swinging shoes into her bed, sending glints of red across her smiling Teddy's head. That beeping medic's metronome that kept tightened hearts in beat, the unrelenting dial tone was rendered incomplete. The Magi made their journey, sent by signals in the stars, bore the sleeping girl a stack of cartoon avatars. She's faking the whole thing, I'd said. Honestly, she's fine. My family seemed to think her slumber stunt was genuine. Crudely, I brought doubt with me and dragged it through the wards, accusing you of fakery for Teddy Toy rewards.
Wow, that was fantastic, mate. I think I remember you reading that at a Wordspace event, or maybe in a lecture. I'm not sure
In
which.
a lecture thing,
yeah.
That's not seen Wordspace.
No, it certainly there was parts of it that ring a bell. That was absolutely brilliant, and like you say, with the rhyme scheme, obviously it feels a little bit more easy to listen to on a radio. You can appreciate it a bit better. You've actually already told us all about the inspiration behind the whole thing.
She's all right.
Yeah, she's
You know.
fine. She's healthier than I am now.
That's
which is a
why I
bit
was
annoying,
laughing,
really.
because I already knew the outcome.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
It was a bit off-putting. I was there listening.
What
I'm
have
not
you
a
been
terrible
seeing
person.
in Chris's sister? What have you been seeing in Chris's sister? I knew she was fine.
Well, I obviously, aforementioned, I live with Chris, and
Yeah.
a lot of the time, we actually, you know what, Chris? If you don't turn off that phone, mate.
It's gone. I've threw it to the other
Slap.
side of the room.
Yeah, basically, we actually just kind of hang out a lot and listen to records and kind of, if we've got like something we need to do for uni, or we've got a poem that we've just written, we'll kind of talk about it with each other, and kind of it helps the creative
Don't say it
process.
in that tone of voice.
It sounds
though, like talk about it with each other.
Yeah.
Talk about it in whispers.
Is that what we do?
I mean, it sounds a lot cooler. Well, no, it is a lot cooler than it sounds.
No, that is cool. I mean, we're here to make poetry more cool.
You've chosen
least-
the worst people to
At
make
least bring it
poetry
to the
more
other
cool.
people who aren't as cool as us.
Well.
like us.
All right.
Says the guy who's cleaning his jeans on a podcast.
Yeah. Why are you tipping water on your leg?
He's got hot
You
legs.
as you can see, there's a patch there. Come on, you've exposed me on radio now. You guys could have just been cool and just not said anything about that. I've
sorry,
got dirty jeans on.
But there's like
Listeners,
rearranging your genitals.
I didn't wash
and then
them.
There's like washing your jeans. In
All my
public.
stuff is in the dryer, okay? Let's not...
You know when you said that you guys like talk about your poetry and everything, like, does it just always descend into this kind of?
A lot of the time, yeah.
A lot of the time he washes his jeans right in front of Phil.
Yeah, usually we're fighting.
Because I do kind of feel like what we've heard is a pretty epic poem with a lot to say about it, and now we're talking about dirty jeans.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a little bit of info about it if you want.
Yeah, go crazy, mate.
Right, so this is in essence my justification for a very infantile writing process that I went through on it. The rhyme scheme and stuff, I was kind of thinking about being that young and kind of what stuff stuck with me back then and what I was probably thinking about on the day when it all went down. And when you're a kid, you're very familiar with that kind of that beat. Do you know what I mean? That very simple rhyme scheme, because it's all over nursery rhymes, it's all over kids programs, and it just
It
rammed
did
down your
remind me
throat.
a bit of Roald Dahl.
Rolled out.
Yeah, Roald Dahl.
That I don't deserve that.
Ooh,
What was that? Is it that's a part, or is it what? Because he's
I was gonna
like
say-
Welsh
No, that I-
national
yeah.
treasure.
Yeah, that's
Exactly,
a
that's what I
compliment.
mean.
Oh, I thought you meant like you thought it was a slap in the face.
No, well, a
Right.
slap in the face for Roald Dahl maybe, but not me.
I don't think he minds.
So yeah, I was kind of trying to get into that, and there's kind of little bits in the thing where I mess with the rhyme scheme just by a syllable or two, just
Genuine. That's one of my favourite ones.
genuine.
Where you just
Yeah,
like
genuine,
I
yeah.
noticed that as
I
well.
mean,
You
I
you
know
had to
that's not
force
how we
that to
pronounce
rhyme.
that
No,
word.
it's
Good.
nice though. It's not because you know you didn't want to compromise the right word for the sentence, and you managed to find a way to make it work. At the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
fine. I do like that. Just topically, like often when somebody writes a poem about innocence or children not really knowing, understanding, it's always in quite a positive light, and it's always this idea of, isn't it the innocence of youth so wonderful and pretty, and you've turned that on its head a bit and gone, the innocence of youth sometimes is kind of grim and
limiting, I'd say.
Yeah.
Not necessarily bad, but at the same time, I think, like, when I look back at saying those things to my parents and just, like, poking my sister while she's
the
in
way
a
you can
coma,
be unknowingly cruel as a child and
Yeah,
have
yeah,
no
like-
idea.
Like, now, I think, if I tell people that I did that, say there's no other context, and I just like, yeah, I didn't believe my sister was in a coma, I kept telling all the doctors and stuff that she wasn't, and running around, like, laughing and trying to get attention. I would have to say that it was because I was that age.
Yeah, because if you
Like,
did it now,
Otherwise,
you'd
they
be a
think you're
real git.
psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's
I'm
just
not a git.
I really
Obviously, your
like that
sister
poem,
might
though.
disagree with that one.
That's
I was probably, maybe used to be a git, more of a git.
we've all been there.
I really like that poem though. That's one of my favourites of yours, just because it takes all the things that I like about spoken word and rhyming poetry and kind of combines them. So it's got like a bit of Kate Tempest feel thrown in there. It's got some like other poetry like influences kind of going on, and I think it's like a really eclectic poem. And there's a lot going on, and
Beautiful stuff.
I quite
Wow,
liked
thank you.
the bit where you're on about the beat of the heart monitor.
Ah, yes.
Because obviously, when you're a child, you will obviously notice all the stuff going on around you in a different light. Because obviously, at the moment, you're kind of left on your own. Your parents are dealing with your sister, perhaps, and you've also got the nurses around. They're not necessarily paying attention to you, so you're perhaps, observing the world around you.
I remember it being a very
Different light.
attention-heavy thing. I was just like, she's getting more attention than me, and she's pissing in a hat. Like, oh, you know when you're at a hospital and they give
Yeah.
you some
I can
weird
just
hat
imagine-
thing? It's like a really rubbish trilby hat.
You didn't
They give
put it
to you
on,
made out
did
of
you?
styrofoam,
Cardboard
and you just
trilby.
got to piss. No,
Chris, you didn't put it on, did you?
come on.
The pissy
This
hat.
cardboard hat.
Not when it was.
Can we make a
post-use.
punk band called Big Chris and the Pissy Hat?
I think it's already copyrighted now.
I'm so confused.
But yeah, that section of the poem, to curve it back round to more sensible literary discussion, that part of the poem, the bit where it's something like, I don't know, I wrote it, but I don't know. It's like the beeping medic's metronome and the unrelenting dull tone. I wanted to put in stuff that kind of alluded to that kind of that pace again, that kind of nursery rhyme
4/4 kind of rhythm.
heartbeat over and over again, because that was kind of what was going on in the room. It was silent. I remember it being very silent, but everybody could just everybody was thinking, sort of felt like we were on the same pace.
Heart monitor was interjecting.
You need to move a bit closer, Chris.
EKG setting the pace. But yeah, that's about it.
All right, wonderful stuff. Okay, I think that's a good time to move on to yours, isn't it, Max?
It will be. Luckily, mine is the shortest.
Oh, awesome! You've already got it all chosen and you're all ready to go, yeah?
Yeah. Well, Phill said to me, "Oh, you got to do this one."
Yeah, I really like this poem. I think it's because Max, when we have to write for class, Max usually whips out the prose, which is obviously not allowed in this room. Strict, no prose allowed. There's a sign on the door.
Not today.
Prose before.
There's a
Prose
sign
before
with
yes.
a break glass thing with a knife that just says poetry on it.
Yeah.
And it's also a knuckle duster. But no, I really, really enjoy this poem. I think it's really good. It's inspired a little bit by some Sylvia Plath, which I found out earlier.
Luckily, I have written that down on the paper,
Yeah,
which you probably just looked over and seen.
No,
Max can introduce his own poem.
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
well, I don't know.
Yeah, you've just hijacked his opportunity to
Phil's
introduce a
hyping
poem,
the ball,
and my responsibility as host here. You're just
I'm sorry, but I'm
you're
so
not welcome.
moved by this poem.
You'll be evicted
and-
from Wordspace if you continue at this rate.
or
Could it be
should
like
we
a game
should we
of
call it the
space?
Phill Show?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not called Phil Space.
Fill space. No, because you'd have to fill space in it.
Oh.
Phil's
That's terrible.
No, that's
You're a
good.
Christmas cracker, mate. read your crappy poem. Go on.
Read your
I'll
poem.
spit on it.
Whoa.
Right.
Well, as Phill did correctly point out, it is inspired by a poem by Sylvia Plath called "Your." I have used "your," but she's got "you are," "your," and I haven't just taken everything from Sylvia Plath's poem and just reworded it. I have actually come up with a very different slant on it, because obviously hers was about her child with Ted Hughes. Mine is about something very different, which
Don't reveal it.
no. I should perhaps read it first and then
Aye.
tell them afterwards, because it's extra weird if I do that. Okay. Your beauty burns bright in sunlight. Coat flows long, glows golden. At peace from the rest, mind not troubled by shadow, which hides where feet used to grace. Wisdom speaks to me when eyes hold my gaze. My inner voice I hear calling. Warmth I offer to you. Friendship I offer to you. Body remains by yours, and words are no longer needed. Time will remain as final gift I bestow to you, lasting image of love.
All right, wonderfully read, fantastic stuff. Okay, now see that's my first time hearing it, so I'm interested to know what this strange deeper meaning is that you talked about.
Right. Well, I did want to play around with people's expectations of what this might be about. I mean, this is about a childhood memory, believe it or not, after all. And I always remember our family pet, Toby, who was a golden retriever. That's why there is talk about the golden glowing coat. But basically, I remember a time when he was lying down by the side of the house, and he was just minding his own business. I think it was a summer's day or something like that. He was in the shade, and I loved Toby. You know, we were pals. He looked after me. He used to do that thing where you'd sit by the cot, you know, be very protective, that sort of way. And there's lots of pictures with him doing that and that sort of thing. And I think I remember this mostly because obviously there's a photo of it. I think Dad probably just ran in the house and got the camera for it. But I saw Toby there, and I thought, okay, I'll go downstairs the house. I'll go and I'll copy him, as you do when you're a toddler, that sort of thing. You don't really know what's going on.
Learn by imitation.
You go, yeah. I thought I'd go lie down, copy what he did, and he looked at me, and then went, okay, and then just lay back down again. You know. So there's a picture of me doing that as a toddler. and I kind of think it's kind of sweet. It's a nice little childhood memory.
It's very
But
sweet.
It's cute.
I think I also wanted to play around with the idea of perhaps turning it around to maybe people might assume it's something else.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I immediately heard a love poem when you know, and that's obviously what you tried to get across.
Yeah.
Still
What
a
you
love
basically,
poem, isn't it?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
well-
Man and his dog.
It was.
Nothing weird.
There were a couple faces that looked a bit confused when they found out it was a dog.
Yeah.
But the golden coat gives it away, I think.
Well,
yeah,
it
but
doesn't
without the expectation, you could be a coat, I guess.
It could be
I don't know.
a lot more sinister, but luckily it isn't.
Lovely.
coat, hair, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But
I mean, it says poetry where everything's very symbolic and
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe some people would miss that meaning, so that's cool.
I just have this vision of you practicing for hobo life with your dog lying in the street as a toddler.
yeah, basically, I wanted to screw the system, you know.
By then he
I'm just
already had a
gonna
beard.
be
Sod
outside,
uni. Why
obviously.
are we even here? Let's just go get some dogs.
Yeah.
Free change.
Probably earn quite a lot more as well. It's tax free.
Probably
Tax free.
It's tax
better than
deductible.
student loan.
Right, let's not make light of the homelessness situations in the UK.
Yeah,
Wordspace does not condone
that sort of activity.
Sucks even worse!
I hate it.
What's wrong with you?
The activity of belittling the reasons why some people are homeless.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
really interested to think about what kind of impressions the people that listen to whoever listens to this is going to have of not only us but Billy, you as well.
You're condoning this behaviour. You're letting it happen, mate.
And for so long, I've just been
The
sat
host
here
with
just
the
We're
letting
just came here
letting
to
it happen.
masquerade as successful English students with bustling poetry talents.
Are you
Bustling.
including yourself
But
in
we're
the
just
successful
actually
part?
talking about hobos and dogs and stuff.
Do you know what though? We've actually had quite a wonderful mix of sounding vastly intelligent for brief 10-second periods, and then, and then just
Complete
ruining
idiots.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Stephen Fry. At least you can put this in like the comedy section on iTunes now as well.
This is true. It's essentially been.
Poetic comedy, I
Yeah.
think, should be a new genre entirely.
I like that.
Could
idea.
be some
I
way
can
to do
see
that.
Wordspace taking off in a few months, coming back, and we got a rap battle league here in Leeds Trinity. International Rap Battle League, Wordspace. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to start writing some.
Alright, do you know what? You join the team. You can get you can be responsible for making this happen.
What about like slam poetry, but whilst you're reading the poetry, you have to physically fight? I'd be really up for that. Like, but you like take your poem to the other person's chest so you can read it while you're digging it. And you just beat hell out of each other.
I'm up for that if I get a free mug. With space mug.
Start the countdown thing.
Yeah.
It's like you win the fight, you get a kettle with like a microphone, a pen,
Yeah.
and like some blood on it.
I don't know what to do.
What with
Are we okay? Like, is it all sound?
If you have to
It's all
ask that
sound, yeah?
question, then
Okay.
you're not okay.
Alright. No, I just want to know because I don't want to come in here and just ruin your like. I've not heard.
I feel like we
Wordspace
have
one, episode
ruined the
one.
vibe.
No,
It might have been a highbrow experience, but this is. I don't want to lower the tone.
Do you know what? The tone is whatever it needs to be for whoever's on the show.
On, please.
I think Katherine should be
10
here with like
minutes.
a yellow card and a red card, so when stuff's starting to digress a bit dodgily, she can just be like, and then the red card comes out. and
Next
throw it
time we
in.
come on, we'll just make sure that all our poems are silly.
Do you think
and
there's
everything
gonna
we
be a
talk
next
about will be
time after
serious.
this?
I
want
we
you
do.
all back on.
They're gonna take back your
honest to God, we'll have you back. This has been a laugh.
We'll get paddles.
Wait and
That's
see
we'll
what
do.
Let's have
The
a
thing is,
weekly show.
no one will listen
Let's
to it
see
if
them.
every single episode is overly serious.
Yeah.
But if we've got the occasional episode where we can pretend to be naked,
I think
and
poetry is kind of misconceived as this really serious thing anyway. Like, when you think of poetry, especially in, like, school and stuff, you immediately think, like, rich white guys, like,
People
sonnets.
people
like-
automatically assume that it's for a certain type of intelligence, and
Yeah,
that they
exactly.
can't. It's not accessible to them, which is not true. It's accessible to everybody.
I think we prove that poetry isn't serious. It's very silly.
Yeah.
Like, even though a poem can be super serious, it can be about a completely silly thing. Like, one of my poems that I'm not reading out today is about a Valentine's Day event when I was younger, where I thought it'd be romantic to put candles out, and they just went everywhere, and there was wax all over my room. My parents showed up and absolutely bollocked me.
You see, that's a fine thing to write a poem about, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, the poetry is just about finding
You're never
an
really
excuse
talking
to...
about the event in the poem, are you?
No.
You're talking about what
The
that
feeling,
represents.
the
Yeah.
embarrassment, the
Yeah.
happiness.
And all of those little things matter.
Yeah, that's what makes.
We're
that's what
rappers
makes poetry
anyway.
great.
We're not poets.
Yeah, we're MCs.
Our
in all
mixtape's
seriousness.
dropping next week. Collabo mixtape with Max producing all the beats.
I've got more bars than Barbara Streisand in a bar at the bar. See,
No.
sneak peek next week. Catch it, peep it.
Stick to birthday rapping. That's what it is.
Katherine, keep all of that in because that was actually really good.
Can that be the theme tune?
Just put like some really intense hip hop in the background while we're talking about it. Like,
I've got more bars than a prison, and I'll be drinking till I'm slizzing. Done.
What's slizzing?
What is
Word
a
space, you
slizzing?
can't bring
What
that
is
shit
slizzing?
to word space, okay? If you're gonna come, bring your top stuff, huh? Does anybody notice how big these headphones are? They're like a
chunky.
space
Well, obviously
man.
not the listeners.
Well, they have. They
Really?
Do you know how big
the
your headphones
uncut
are?
footage on the website.
No, I think we'll just keep moving further to the desk.
So,
Perhaps.
in all seriousness, Billy, where can people find these podcasts, and when are they going to be coming out? And all that jazz?
We're trying to get one done every single week, so hopefully this will be out by next Thursday, which
That's
will be the 27th of March. Are we on March? We're on March.
We are on March,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
27th of March, by which point we'll be recording the next one. We're going to be whacking them up on YouTube. The Uni's putting them on Moodle, I think. Yeah? Yeah, Uni's putting them on Moodle.
This is going on.
This is going on Moodle.
This is big prime time.
Yeah.
Right. I've got some qualms with this.
No, it'll be fine.
I don't know. Is this? I can't remember what we talked about, but there's probably not the sort of thing that I
Well,
want
there
to share with
is
my parents or my family.
A poem,
Talk
naked.
about willies.
Do you know what? There's actually been a lot of intelligent discussion. It's easy to only think about the
You
willies.
say that looking at the
Just
screen
think,
like you can
In
see
the
it.
taglines, you've got Sylvia Plath and nakedness.
That's going to get some buzz.
Yeah, just call it Silver Plath, Sylvia
Silver Plath.
Silver Plath.
Nudity on a silver plath.
You should just name it something completely unrelated. Like I saw, I'm gonna call out a newspaper. I saw the Kent local newspaper today. They had like a headline on Facebook that was like, "Unexploded bomb found on rail line, all trains delayed," and stuff like that. And it was like 2 old artillery shells that had been dug up, but it was like unexploded bomb.
Yeah, hardly qualifies,
Yeah.
does it? I don't know.
So this should be
The only
like
bombs in the news today are the ones we drop in here, yo.
new album
Booty.
coming out 2101, whatever that is.
That's the best ending that anybody could have ever come up with, really. So
I think we need a orchestral brrrah together.
We just need a grind beat. Just like word space. Right, you're gonna have to put in like the comment or like whatever. None of these people
NSFW,
were
yeah.
naked. They were all
Just-
wearing suits. They're actually really serious poets.
Yeah.
Listener discretion is advised.
Disclaimer.
Over
Wordspace does
18
not
seconds.
condone nudity at university.
Awesome.
I always want to go to Wordspace and then
That walk, man.
yeah, that walk. From
Please
Horse
come
to
next
station.
time, genuinely, because
I've wanted to read there for a while. To be fair,
it's been more and more fun lately. They've been getting better people in. They had a band in the other day called Union Jill, who were absolutely beyond spectacularly cool.
that's a good name.
No, they were awesome. It's Miles Salter's wife is one of the guitar
Oh,
players.
really? Have you heard Miles Salter's music?
I have. He's not bad. Get
Just-
get more
just so
students
you know,
in reading. You know
people
what
at home. Our university is actually very small, and it's like a little. I wouldn't say a family, but it's small. And there's only like a couple hundred people on our English course, if that.
I mean? It's 230 on our course, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
the facts ready to hand
Why is there
there.
only like 9 people in all my lectures then?
No, it's 230 in all of the English departments.
Like all
That's
3
English
years.
and
Oh,
journalism,
right.
English and
Do you- what do you
history,
do? Right.
creative writing with you.
Yeah.
You do the same day.
And you do as well.
I do
What
English.
do you do? Well, I'm in all your classes, Chris. Oh yeah. Oh
Not in
yeah.
all my classes, I don't think.
But yeah, no. Leeds Trinity University is quite small, and it's hard to get people to go to stuff. I think, and Wordspace does have an endearing quality that people do show up for every week and stuff like that. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, if we can just advertise and get more people going down there, because we eventually want to start setting up a YouTube channel for Wordspace Radio, where we'll be putting up videos of people's live performances at the Wordspace Live.
That'd be cool.
And then we want to be hitting the point where we can be setting up more events of our own. We want to do a slam night at the lounge, maybe. Because I think a large element of why people don't go to Flip Flop is because they can't be bothered spending £7 on a taxi down to Horsforth Town Centre.
Well, as I am apparently a slam poet now, who knew? Up for that.
Yeah. So, there you go. It's all good. We're knocking on 50 minutes now. And
A lot of this will be cut, so.
well, probably about 20 minutes, but that makes it a half-hour podcast.
Should we do a good outro now?
Are you ready?
We should just have a synchronised word space.
What, harmonies?
Space with words. Boom. All three of us at the
Have
same
you got a
time.
tagline?
And we can all be drumming.
I want it to be metaphors be with you.
That's strong.
But no one likes it.
That was like a brick to face.
I said on the last one, anyone who comes in with a terrible poetry joke, I'll buy them a pint. I'm collecting.
Poems.
Can I
Yeah.
tell?
What poems
Oh
do
my
you want
God.
to do? Poems.
Yeah,
Buy me a pint.
we were in creative writing yesterday.
Can I tell you a John Keats joke? Sorry.
Oh,
Is it-
God.
no. This is
Yeah.
brilliant. Why were the bank after John Keats?
Dunno.
Because he owed too much. Ah.
And on that bombshell.
Jeremy Clarkson, topical.
Yeah, Ethan's already received the right list.
Current affairs by Wordspace on current affairs.
Right, guys, do your jingle and then we can get out of here. Cause
Right, what are we agreeing on? Word space, space for words, or word space, put your words in the space.
that one will do.
Too low. so
Guys,
like,
guys. 3, 2, 1.
Wordspace in your face. Also in the space. There.
That was crap.
I told you I'm a rapper, man.
Katherine, please edit that as the intro. I am deadly serious.
Right, should we do like an actual mature?
Yeah,
outro?
let's
Okay.
wind it down. Okay, guys, just want to say a massive thank you for coming down and reading your poems. I know, obviously, it's sometimes a bit nerve-wracking to put your stuff out there, but it's been awesome chatting with you. Hope you've all enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Can we expect any of you to come back?
Yeah, I
If
mean,
we're welcome.
I don't think we're welcome at all.
You're always welcome.
Well, I don't want to be in the room again with you naked, to be fair.
Yeah, that's been quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What's the, I'm the only one naked.
It's
now.
okay.
Well,
it's
no,
it's
it's
So
called-
all
basically,
naked, but
I'm weird.
You're
That's
the only one
general
doing weird
consensus.
things with it.
Yeah.
I
Alright,
think that's a fitting ending.
I'm gonna have to stop it here because this could go on for a while.
Yeah,
But
okay.
Things have gone a bit limp.
thanks a million, guys. We'll see you at the Wordspace
Remember,
Live
guys, put
event.
your words in the
Woo!
space.
2nd of April, I think.
Cool. Come on down.
1st of April.
Come on down.
Woo! Wordspace.
Bye.
Wordspace.
Bye.
Space.